Welcome everyone. Welcome to Love Alchemy, the place where divine love transformation begins. I'm your host, Tamara, and today we are going into the woo-woo territory. If you didn't think that this podcast was woo-woo enough, this is something that I really wanted to do and have decided to do it. And now, just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with woo-woo, and it's usually given that term because what we can't fully understand or measure, we slap a woo-woo label on it. And perhaps that is where a podcast on that might have to be coming to reality, or I guess that's a different show. So let's go back to the whole woo-woo thing. Today we are going to move forward with the topic of Pleiadians and the book by Barbara Marciniak. And it's called Bringers of the Dawn, a channeled book. And I want to stop to mention here that this book was written in 1992. And several months back, I had decided to read it. It was kind of coming up into my awareness, and I'd known about it for a while, but lately it had come up into my awareness more frequently. And when stuff like that happens, I pay attention because obviously I'm being guided in some way. So the universe likes to speak to us in different ways, and it wants us to wake up. So when it's pointing the direction or pointing away, then maybe it's time to pay attention. And now we all have free will. So when we become mindful and gather that understanding of what and how we feel, so we're getting to understand or know ourselves, we can pay attention to the cues and the signs that we are seeing. And I'm going to say that this book is timeless, and it is applicable probably more so today than ever before. And it did take some time for me to read it, mostly because there was a lot to process. There was a lot happening in the book, but also it was like this book was telling me when was the right time to read it. So I'd read some of it and then stop, and then I wouldn't pick it up for a few days or maybe a week, and suddenly I would feel drawn to it again, that oh, it's now time to read it again. It's now time to pick it up. And this just consistently went on like that. That's after a while, I noticed that when I felt that calling, that's when I went back to it and started reading it again. So this also happened to a friend of mine. She was experiencing the same situation as we were reading the book together, that she was being called to pick it up again. So that was interesting. There is a lot of information in there. There's a lot of info to digest for sure. So back to the Pleiadians. Who are the Pleiadians? Well, they are an enlightened group of evolved multidimensional beings from the star system Pleiades. And some say that their concern or their focus is what is happening to our planet, on our planet, and to humans. This book was really interesting because there were a variety of things that it did talk about and touched on, and it just made so much sense. It was kind of mind-blowing, really. It was a lot of aha moments, or a lot of information that was totally relatable to today. And this book, again, was written in the 90s. So one thing that it does address is holographic inserts. And holographic inserts are used to make dramas look real as a means of manipulation and control of the masses. So what the Pleiadians were saying is that there are holographic inserts happening on our planet, and they have been happening on our planet for a very long time, that these holographic inserts are not fluffy puppies, but they're meant to upset people. And they say that they're put there to change the story of information to disinformation, one of limited amount of knowledge. So they're placed there for a reason, for control. So for instance, the Pleiadians state the holographic inserts are prevalent in the Middle East because there's a lot of drama there. But also because of the vortex of energy there, it's easy to insert a holograph. Now, this might be a touchy subject, but they even indicate that the crucifixion of Christ was a holographic insert. I mean, you can believe it or not, but if you look at it from the perspective of control and from the teachings of Christ, and that Christ was an alchemist and was trained in the alchemy of Horus, or so there's some theories regarding that, you can see how the crucifixion would gain a lot of control over his followers. So if you insert a holograph in there, then that would definitely be a means to control people. So again, before anybody dismisses this or gets upset, keep in mind the quote from Shakespeare's Hamlet. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. So meaning that the message is that we need to be more aware, because what we have been taught and the reality that we have come to know, perhaps it isn't accurate. So this is kind of mind-blowing, really, because we've been taught and shown and been led to believe certain things. So what if it was put there as a means to control? What if there is a holographic insert? So the Pleiadians also say that those people who leave when the Earth is going through changes actually don't fit here anymore, in this world anymore. And why is that? Why would that be? Why would people leave this Earth when there's changes? Well, if we're looking at vibration and frequency, and this 3D world and how we've been here for quite a while, suppressing our true wisdom of who we are, and the vibration on Earth is beginning to level up. We also need to level up. But if there's resistance to becoming more aware and more awakened and kind of shakes up your world, if we keep our vibration at a lower frequency, then we can not continue to exist, right? So if the frequency of the Earth is leveling up, then you're either leveling up or your frequency will cease to exist. You will have to move on to another plane, another playing field. So think of it this way, think of radio waves. If the antenna isn't picking up the frequency, then you will just get nothing or static. So you won't understand the frequency because you aren't on that same level. And that's kind of an analogy there. If you're not understanding that new frequency that's rising up on the planet, if it's just crackles, if it's just static, then basically your physical form will pass away. The Pleiadians also mention that perceiving through our feeling centers is very important. It's essential that we understand our emotions, that we begin to sense and to feel, become more attuned to that rather than pushing it aside. And we've been led to believe that the logical thought and rationale are the only ways to understand this world, and numbing our feeling centers, numbing ourselves, not allowing that emotion, our intuition, to help guide us, poo-pooing it, saying it's woo-woo because we don't understand it or we don't think it's legitimate. And we've been programmed to believe that intuition doesn't matter. And therefore, we don't enhance it. We don't work on it. We don't become more attuned to it. Instead, we believe we need to search outside of ourselves for the answer. And I mean, you can look at your own life. I look at my life, where if I'm acting from a place of intuition and feeling and sensing, and make a decision in that manner as opposed to thinking in a more logical or rational form, then people will think I'm weird or crazy for doing that. Now, there is a place for both the logic and intuition, and for them both to work together. And my Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine podcasts kind of outline that, how both of those need to come together for a whole, because one is about allowing and one is about action. One is about more intuition and feeling, and the other is more about the logic and the rationale. Another thing to address is fear. If you've ever seen the movie Monsters, Inc., this will be relatable to you. The monsters in the movie, go into kids' bedrooms to scare them because the fear, the screams of the children will power the city where the monsters live. So that was the whole point of these monsters, scaring these kids. And so you can relate that, our emotions, to that, where our emotions are important to this. And this is another point the Pleiadians make. Negative or lower vibe energies are all around, even in the powers that be that operate a corrupt system. Our fear is what is being fed off of. If we stay in that level of fear, that lower vibration, then we're easier to control and manipulate. And that fear can be fed off of, because if you like fear, when you think about it, how controlling and how much that kind of takes over your life. But if we're in the light, stay in the light, we bring the light, these lower energies have nothing to feed from. Hence the holographic inserts to drive more fear. With more fear comes the ability to control and manipulate. And so the cycle continues. And so this is what the Bringers of the Dawn indicates. This is why we need to bring the light, to level up, to become the masters of our own thoughts and emotions. And that's what love alchemy is. It's about that transmutation of those emotions, those old ways of being, of leveling up, of coming into your own divine sovereignty, of coming into your own divine essence and understanding that, living from that place, that heart-centered place. No longer from fear, living in fear, but living in love. So let's relate this all to the matrix. We can choose to level up take back our own power, or stay in a world where we are asleep. With a little awareness to what is happening, allowing our fear to be amped up and our light to be dimmed even further. We can continue our belief that humanity is going to hell in a handbasket, or we can believe that if we bring light and love, if we bring the awareness, then others will begin to awaken too. I realize that this definitely went down a different path than what you're used to. And regardless if we believe it or not, the fact remains that we have been held back from shining our own light, from allowing our pure essence, from allowing true self-love. All of these things, when truly embodied, would change the world. So in this book, it reiterates, especially dedicated a whole chapter to emotions. So I'm just going to read to you. Emotions are so important, and understanding them it's so very important. Because when we understand our emotions, then we are able to heal ourselves. We are able to understand ourselves at an even deeper level. So it says, when you deny your emotions, you're asking for major earth changes to take place within your psyche. When you allow a tornado here, a hurricane there, or a small volcanic eruption here and there, you are allowing your emotions freedom of expression, and they will not run rampant over your personal environment. Feeling is what connects you to your humanity. Feeling is what connects you to your emotions. Emotions connect you in this realm of existence to your spiritual body. What we are saying is that emotions or feelings are the key to being alive in this reality. Many realities exist without emotions, but in this reality, they are your greatest gift. If you deny your emotional self in this lifetime, then you had best realize that you have hung it up. If you are not going to be part of your emotional self, then you are never going to make the game we are talking about. You will simply be one of the masses who watches television and feels like a victim over and over again. If you are feeling pain within your emotional body, ask yourself why you believe the pain is there, what purpose the pain serves, and why you are choosing to create pain through your emotions. Why is it not your choice to create joy? All is choice. We need to remind you of this. So, here we are, emotions, the bringers of the dawn. I just really touched a little bit on this, what it's about. It goes much deeper than this. But most importantly, what it's saying is that we need to awaken to who we truly are. It is right in front of us. It's always been with us, but we've been kind of put to sleep to understand this, to step into that knowingness, that awareness. And now is the time to really begin waking up to our own divine essence. And that's what I teach about here, is stepping into your divine power, your divineness. It's not just a woo-woo term. It's not just a fluffy term to make you feel better about yourself. It is who you truly are. Awakening to this, becoming more aware of this, of getting into your heart center, of going deep within and understanding this juiciness, this beautiful part of yourself that is all you. You are just divine in this physical vessel, having this physical experience, creating your world the way that you want to, or by default, deliberately or by default. It's entirely up to you because you have free will. It is your choice. And the Pleiadians, the Bringers of the Dawn book, outlines this, outlines where we have been at for a very long time, how we've been fooled and lied to about who we really are. And it's been handed down to us for a very long time from our ancestors who didn't know any better either. So now here we are in this lifetime where we can really grasp hold and become more awakened to our divine being. And I mean this wholeheartedly, that you are a beautiful divine being. And it's not just some flippant remark. It is true. And when we really do the work and go within ourselves and begin to understand that part of ourselves and step into that, we begin to understand it even more and embody that fully. So doing this, releasing those old patterns, stepping into your aliveness, your oneness, your divineness, that is what is going to help you in this physical body, on this earth plane, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all areas of your life. So to find out more information on self-love and meditation courses, you can go to my website at lovealchemywellness.ca. Also, I have a new book coming out called Love Alchemy, Soul Love Transformation, and that date is yet to be determined, but it is getting closer, and I've been working on this for quite some time now. But this is an awakening. We are in the middle of an awakening, and yeah, it's been happening for some time now, but it's really amping up. It is the intensity of the energy to being propelled forward into that awakening of who we truly are and embodying that. That is becoming more and more prevalent. Well, it is for me anyway. And maybe if you're not quite there yet, maybe you do sense something, sense some sort of frequency, some sort of whatever. It could be uneasiness, it could be discombobulation. You will know what that feeling is, and maybe that feeling is pointing you in the direction of awakening to your true self. So before we finish, let's do a quick meditation to help awaken ourselves to our divine being within every cell in our body. So get into a comfortable position where you will not be disturbed, where you will have a few minutes to yourself. You can lie down or sit down. Just make sure that you are comfortable, that the temperature is right, that your clothing isn't bothering you, and just relax. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Just do that a few more times, inhaling and exhaling. And then just relax into the breath, allowing that breath to flow over you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Allowing every body part to relax, every muscle, every organ to relax. Now I want you to go into the center of your spiritual heart, right at the center of your chest. And there, in the center of the spiritual heart, is a beautiful light, glimmering, translucent, luminescent. Allow that light to spread out into every area of your body, from head to toe, into your fingertips, into your ears, to every hair follicle. Just allow that light to encompass you. Allow the light to penetrate all of your cells. Now, just observe and see the light shining from every cell, lighting up your body. Now, this light in every cell is divine. That's your divine essence. And just tap into that divine essence in every cell. You can even go into one cell, right into the heart of that divine essence. Just allow yourself to bask in the beauty, in the love of this divine essence. Feel it throughout your whole body. Feel the energy, the vibration of this beautiful divinity that is you. Every single part of you. Inside and out, you are connected. You are a divine being. You are divine love. You are loved and you are lovable. Just continue with this feeling, with sensing this divine energy. Just allow it to vibrate throughout your entire body. And outside of your body. Connecting with the all that is, the universe, the higher consciousness, whatever it is, that is all you. And understand that divinity. That is you. You are a beautiful being of light and love. I'll sit here or lay here for as long as you like, just basking in this knowing, in this love. Feel it coursing through you, through your veins, through your breath. Know that you can come back to this space anytime that you want. And the more you do it, the more you connect at a deeper level with your divine essence. Stay here as long as you like, or if you're ready to come out of this, bring your awareness back into your room, back into your body. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Take a deep breath. And whenever you are ready, just open your eyes. Thank you for being here. Namaste.